Andrew Van Ginkel takes it all the way inside the Houston 5. Very next play, Jeff Wilson's war. One between the tackles, or just off the tackle. Dolphins up 17-0. Wilson's 4th rushing touchdown of the season, fitting right in. Next Dolphins drive, Tua pumping and dumping. Deep to Waddle. Jalen Waddle hauls it in for the 34-yard reception as it was bobbled and regained. Catch it with your eyes, son. Tua in the first half, 20 of 34, 278 and a touchdown. Those 278 yards, most first half passing yards by a Dolphin since 91. It was Marino, and that's just some good old-fashioned football. Eric Rowe, lowering the shoulder, dislodging the football. Xavier Howard scoop and score for an easy 6. Fins up 27-0. They go on to win this one 30-15 as they largely called off the Dogs in the second half. Tua benched just a couple possessions into that third quarter, finished 22 of 36 for 299. Dolphins now 8-0 this season when Tua starts and finishes the game, although he didn't finish this game, but was removed under his own accord, let's say. 4 straight 30-point performances for the Dolphins. That ties the longest streak in team history to go with that high-powered 87 offense back in 09 as well. Tua since week 7, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, playing clean football and winning games. It's their 5th straight win, which is tied for the longest active streak in the NFL. Dolphins do cover that 14, narrowly escaping a bad backdoor beat, and the under comes through. Here's Tua postgame.
Okay, Tua, 299 yards, 1 touchdown for a partial day's work. Considering you're coming off the bye, what was the biggest takeaway today?
That we have a lot to continue to work on. It's hard when you're hot and then you go into a bye and then you're coming off of a bye and trying to, resurge what you've been doing the past 3 to 4 weeks, with our group of guys. But it's a great opportunity for us to get back in on Monday and, find out things that we can work on and get better at those.
So when you think about the second half, what's the biggest learning lesson for this team?
Well, it's finishing, but offensively, we got to be able to communicate better. We got to be able to finish drives. We had many opportunities to do that today, but we didn't. So, it's a great learning lesson, and what way to learn, winning.
So as you look to this stretch drive, so much is leadership and playing together. Yesterday, Mike McDaniel said you are the reason he got into coaching. Can you please share just a little bit what it's like to play with him?
Well, having someone that first off believes in you makes all the difference. Having someone that calls me randomly, just telling me how much I mean to him and the things that he's trying to accomplish and we're trying to accomplish as a team. And it's cool. I've never had that. I've never experienced that. This is my first time having that kind of relationship with someone, of that type of authority, being the head coach of an organization. But just love that guy.
Even if you won't go on vacation with him.
Yeah. Didn't want to go on vacation with him.
Thank you so much, Tua. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, vacation is a long way from the front of the mind of Tua Tagovailoa, who claims there's still things to work on, but man, this offense, this man playing MVP and playoff caliber football this season, especially these last 5 games, a perfect 5-0, scoring north of 30 points as an offense, throwing for north of 300 yards, hasn't thrown a pick. He's connected with a bunch of different receivers on those 11 touchdowns. The arrow pointing up in Miami. All right, Rick Spielman, Tyler Sullivan in to break this one down as well. Fellas, you hear Tua say there that there's things to work on and things to clean up. Could be quarterback speak, but is it the truth, Rick, when you look at what this Miami team's been able to accomplish here over these last couple months?
Well, when it's 30-0 at halftime,
pretty good.
Maybe as he can work on his pregame, his speech going into the second half. It was like a preseason game, watching a preseason game. And it doesn't matter if Mills is playing or if Allen was playing in Houston. They're just not a very good football team right now. So the biggest thing I was watching in the second half was, God forbid, any of their stars, either Waddle or him, thank God they got him out of the game, get hurt as they get ready to make a push down the stretch. But this was a dominant performance by Miami on both sides of the ball against a very poor football team right now. And I don't know what else to say, but maybe they can improve on Mike McDaniel's or Mike McDaniel halftime speech coming out when you're winning 30-0.
Yeah, you definitely want to, regardless of who's on the field, finish stronger than the Dolphins did in this one. But we're truly nitpicking, and if we're going to be critical of this Dolphins team anywhere, it's the defensive side of the football. It's been that way for the last however long. We know what they bring to the table offensively, Tyler. When you look at the Dolphins, if they do really want to realize these high aspirations, where do they need to clean things up over the last month and a half of the season?
Yeah, no, you look at that defense. That's certainly going to be the case here. And when you look at this schedule, I think we're going to find out a lot about what this Miami Dolphins team actually is going to be and what they are. I mean, obviously a blowout against the Houston Texans, even a blowout against the Cleveland Browns before the bye. I don't know if that tells you a lot. This team's very good at home. They're 5-1. Obviously, you're talking about how great Tua is just as a quarterback this season. Perfect when he plays an entire game. But these next few weeks, this is where we're going to find out if the Dolphins are legit or not, or if they're fool's gold. At San Francisco, at the Chargers, at the Buffalo Bills. High-octane offenses. If the defense can slow those guys down, those offenses down on the road, that's what's going to tell you that this team's legit or not and can actually win when we get into January and we get maybe even into February. Who knows? You know, this team has the ceiling to crash the party in the AFC. I mean, everybody's looking at Buffalo. Everybody's looking at Kansas City. I think you're starting to look at Cincinnati a little bit now. But Miami, if they can show us that they can clamp down, run the football, and play good defense, create turnovers like we saw against Houston today, this team could be a sleeper in the AFC.
No doubt about that. Thank you, gentlemen. Here's a look at your fantasy recap out of this game. Plenty of fantasy performers, at least on the Miami side of this equation. 14 points for Tyreek. You're probably going to want more, but was not needed much there in the second half. Tua, just 17 points. As you're probably saying, why'd you take him out? Well, you got to keep it healthy. He did take a couple nasty shots there late in the first half, but Tua, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 17 points for you. Jalen Waddle getting north of that 10-point meridian as well. On the Houston side, it's really Dameon Pierce and nobody else, and he gave you just 3 points here on Sunday. Falcons and the Commanders facing off with wild card implications in the NFC. Washington entering as your current 8 seed, 5-1 since week 6. Falcons just behind them, a game back as the 9 seed. Also in the mix in that division, the NFC South is whoever wants it. Brian Robinson wanted it. Late first quarter, Robinson Jr., truck stick, get off the tracks when the train's coming. Commanders up 7-3 as Robinson collects his first career 100-yard rushing game. As for the game, Marcus Mariota in the mid-second quarter rolls out and throws back across the field. Little design to Michael Pruitt makes it 10-7 Birds, capped off an 11-play, 77-yard drive. But Taylor Heineke time. Late third quarter, Heineke finds John Bates. No vacancy. Commanders up 16-10 after a missed extra point. Would that PAT come back to bite them? After trading field goals, Falcons down by 6 with under 4 to play. 1st and 10 from their own 30. Mariota goes down, gets back up, finds Olamide Zaccheaus. He takes it all the way down to the Commander 26, 44-yard gain as Mariota performs the escaping act there. Later in the drive, just over a minute to play. Mariota's pass tipped, picked. Daron Payne bringing a different type of pain as Kendall Fuller comes away with the pick. Fuller's second straight game with an interception, but after the Falcons defense forced a timely 3-and-out, Washington punting it away. We've seen games end like this in recent memory, 44 seconds to play. But hold on, we got laundry, and it's costly.